Welcome back. Chapter 21, Catherine. It's time to see if I can catch my mother in another lie. There's something about her that has never quite added up. A loose thread I snagged a long time ago and kept tucked in my pocket. She claims to have been raised by strict Catholic parents. It's why she has a biblical name, Ruth, with the middle name Mary, and also why her parents threw her out when she got pregnant. Her sin was too great for them to forgive. But one night, when I was about 15, my mother and I were flopped on the couch watching Jeopardy and shooting out answers. It was storming outside, a bad one. Rain rushed down from the sky and thunder shook our apartment. I wasn't scared. I've always liked storms. The way the air turns thick and menacing, the static zag of lightning cracking across the sky. Mother Nature sure knows how to throw a tantrum. When Alex Trebek asked for the source of the quote, "Deliver us from evil," my mouth was too full of warm, buttery popcorn for me to speak. But my mother shouted, "Who is Shakespeare?" A contestant buzzed in and gave the correct answer a second later. "What is the Lord's Prayer?" Shakespeare didn't write those words, of course. They're in the Bible. Not only that, but most Catholics repeat the Lord's Prayer during weekly Mass. Even I knew how important a prayer it was. I learned it while watching Beverly Hills 90210 rerun, during a scene in which Jenny Garth's character was trapped in a fire and began reciting it. I'd said as much to my mother and she snapped at me. Her mother been snapping at her because Catherine is a smart whip. She be listening. Give me a break. I'm tired. I'd whirled a lock of hair around my fingers and an unsettling feeling welling up inside of me. But it doesn't make sense. Just because you're tired, Catherine, this conversation is ending now. Her tone meant she was an inch away from losing her temper, so I let it go. All these years later, I'm thinking about that conversation again. I no longer trust it was a simple memory lapse. In an ideal world, I'd find a way to get my mother to a Catholic Mass and I'd watch her carefully. I'd see if she understood when to sit and stand and kneel. I gauge her familiarity with the ritual of communion and with the hymns. If she made a mistake, I'll be there to catch it. But there's no way I'll be able to get my mother into a church. She told me once that I was welcome to pick a religion for myself, but she was an agnostic. Okay. So I'm going to bring a bit of church to her. Catherine, you petty. I like it. My mother worked an early shift today and is due home from Sam's around 2:30 p.m. I have the day off. I already stopped by Sunrise at lunchtime, but no fax had come in from RJ's. I plan to check again toward the end of the day. I'm freshly showered and on the couch with my hair drawn up in a loose, damp bun when my mother walks through the door. She's right on time. Oh, you better be careful. I've made a bowl of buttered popcorn for us to share for old time's sake. Hey, I turned down the volume on the TV show I've been pretending to watch. How was your day? She pauses in the doorway. I can tell she's trying to gauge my mood. The usual. She slips off her shoes and signs as she flexes and curls her toes against the carpet. What are you watching? I turn off the TV. Would you believe a dumb Christmas movie? My mother's forehead creases. In May? There's a channel that shows them year-round. She rolls her eyes. Tell me, we're not paying extra for it. I hold out the bowl of popcorn. Want some? I need my mother close to carry out my plan. She's better than me at the art of subterfuge. But she's teaching you. I'll have a split second to read her expression before she creates a diversion or mask her true feelings. Ooh, she's observant. Yeah, let me go change into some sweats. She heads into her bedroom and I shift position, stretching out with my head against the armrest. She likes to put her feet up when she gets home from work, so it isn't usually for her to lie head to toe on the couch, facing each other while we talk. Or I study and she plays a game of solitary on her phone. She comes back out a few minutes later, her hair loosened from its headband. I catch a whiff of the clean, soapy scent of the Dove bar she uses to wash her face. I start to hum as she enters the living room. My mother pushes my leg over an inch, then climbs onto the couch and stretches out. I keep humming, concentrating on making every note clear and distinct. My mother reaches for the popcorn bowl and crunches a handful. Pretty song. It's Ava Maria. I've got it in my head from the movie I just saw. You know, it's the song they always play at Christmas. I think it's originally from the famous opera. I look into her eyes as I say the words, and it's what I don't see that gives me the confirmation I both need and fear. My mother shrugs. There's no flash of recognition or knowledge, no effort to correct me. Madam Butterfly, that's it, I continued. Mm-hmm. She nods and takes another handful of popcorn. So, how was your day? I feel my cheeks begin to burn. Ava Marie is a prayer. I researched it just this morning. If you translate the lyrics, they begin, Hail Mary, full of grace. Anyone who grew up in the Catholic Church would know the song is associated with their religion. Still, I give my mother one final chance. My day was pretty interesting. I went into work for a bit. My mother has a tiny piece of popcorn stuck to her chin. Normally, I reach out and brush it off, but I don't want to touch her. I can barely stand to have her leg resting next to mine. Tim hired a new physical therapist. I lie. He's about my age. My mother raised an eyebrow. Cute? Yeah. Tim asked me to give him a tour, then we talked for a while. His name is Christopher. I can't believe my mother doesn't sense the turbulent emotions that seem to be rolling off me in waves. Or maybe she does. She's a better actress than I am. I've always liked that name, she tells me, playing right into my hands. I couldn't have scripted a better response for her. Me too. He said his parents are religious, so all their kids are named after saints. He got Saint Christopher, who was the patron saint of animals, which is pretty funny because he's allergic to dogs and cats. My mother gives a little laugh, but it dies off when I don't join in. You feeling okay? She asks. You don't look that great all of a sudden. Saint Francis of Assisi is the patron saint of animals. Saint Christopher is the patron saint of travel. Oh. 3 strikes. Wouldn't anyone raised in the Catholic Church know the identities of 2 of the most famous saints? I cannot believe that of the few scanty facts she has told me about herself, at least one is a fabrication. Her parents weren't devoted Catholics, so why did they throw her out when she got pregnant with me? Catherine, you okay? She repeats. I'm spared from having to answer when my iPhone rings. I reach for it and the caller ID shows it's the cable provider for my new apartment in Baltimore, the company I've been trying to reach to cancel the service I arranged to begin next week. The company made it easy to sign up for one of their viewing packages. Canceling has proved to be much harder. I was on hold for nearly 30 minutes earlier before I gave up and pressed a button on my phone to receive a call back. My mother turns her attention to her own phone while I begin talking to the world's worst customer service representative. The line is a little staticky and he can't understand my name, so I have to repeat it twice, then spell it. He tries to sell me an upgrade package, but I insist I need to cancel. All the while, I can't help thinking about the stories I'd created about my mother in my mind. She didn't get confirmed at age 13 like I imagined. She never wore a little gold cross necklace. I wonder if she ever set foot in a Catholic church in her life. Does she even has Alzheimer's disease, or is that her biggest lie yet? Girl, you just wait. I want to shake her and demand to know the truth. I want to slap the popcorn kernel off her face. The service guy wraps up his pitch. So, what do you think? It's just an additional $49.99 per month. No, I want to cancel my damn service agreement. My mother's head jerks up as I shout the words. Oh, okay. Hang on 1 second and let me transfer you to our... No! I yell again, but it's too late. Canned music played in my ear. My phone flies across the room and smashes against the wall. I hear the crunch of breaking glass. Then I see my mother's face and I realize when I threw my phone, I barely missed her head. Girl, you better be careful. 2 people with tempers? Her arms are half raised to protect herself and her eyes are huge. Catherine, what the... What? You're the only one who's allowed to get mad? Or at least I didn't hit you. Okay. You asking for a rumble, girl. I leave the rest of my sentence unsaid, but I can tell my mother knows what I'm thinking, like you used to hit me. She didn't do it a lot, 3, 4 times maybe in my entire life, and I could tell she felt horrible afterward, but I'm too mad to care right now. I actually want her to hit me again because then I'll have the satisfaction of fighting back. I leap to my feet, the bowl of popcorn falling to the floor and spilling everywhere. My mother cowers below me. That's just like people who are bullied sometimes. I'm surprised by how good it makes me feel. I remain there for a breath, then walk away and pick up my phone. A needle-thin shard of broken glass snagged my fingertips, drawing a dot of blood. I don't trust myself to say a word, so I grab my purse and walk without uttering one. I arrive at sunrise and drive through the parking lot searching for a spot. The prime ones all require parking stickers, which are issued to residents who still drive and full-time employees. There's also a long road dedicated for visitors. Since I don't have a sticker, none of us part-timers get them. I have to bypass 2 empty permitted spots and leave my car near the very back of the crowded lot. I exit the Bonneville and go through the ritual of flashing my ID and signing in. Then I hurry up to the memory wing. I make my way to the small office connected to the nurse's station. There's a new fax on the machine. It feels slightly warm to the touch, like it arrived seconds before I did. I recognize the handwriting on the form immediately. I know it as well as I know my own. It's the 2-page work application my mother filled out 10 years ago for RJ's, complete with a list of her prior jobs and a reference, a woman whose name I don't recognize, Diane Brown. It seems like a solid lead. As I stare hungrily at the new information, I also come to a decision. I'm not just going to try to track down my mother's family. I'm going to devote myself to figuring out as much of the truth about her as I can. If my mother is faking Alzheimer's, which I'm becoming more and more convinced of, I'll help her get whatever mental health service she needs, but I'm not going to destroy my life to enable her. My lease is scheduled to start in 7 days. It's a good thing I didn't cancel my cable or find someone to sublet my apartment because I plan to arrive in Baltimore right on time. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, Catherine, you sick of your mother crap. I hear that. But you better tread lightly because your mama is just as crazy as you are. And do we want to see these 2 titans come together and, bump heads like that? I definitely don't. I want Catherine to get all the information she can out of Ruth. But it's appearing as if Catherine ain't even trying to hear what Ruth got to say. She about to investigate and do it all on her own. What is she going to find out? Is she going to find out everything? we will have to wait until the next chapter. So I'm going to see y'all in chapter 22. Bye.